3, 4, 5.
Real quick.
Fire away.
You ready? Yep. Back here with HS Game Time live at the Paloma Valley Passing Tournament. This is Coach Tony Peralta here from Elsinore High School. Tony, talk a little bit about, you got a lot of guys that you're trying to replace this year. Talk about what you saw in your first go-around here at Paloma Valley.
Well, defensively, we returned 5 starters, and we did play very well defensively in our first ball game. We didn't allow a score. Offensively is where we are filling some gaps, especially in the quarterback position. Right now we have 4 young kids, only one of which is a senior, that are competing for that particular position. And we've been a little bit spoiled for the past 2 years. We've had Matthew Patton in that position, who has just been a rock-solid kid, and we were able to do more things with him early in situations like this. But this is our first outing with any type of passing competition, and we weren't really happy with our offensive production. We probably threw more interceptions than we had pass completions today. But I think in the long run, it's a good learning tool for the kids and for us as coaches to be able to see our kids in competition, how they respond to difficulty and adversity, and be able to rally together rather than, lose confidence or hope in what they're trying to do.
Right. And your son Nolan, obviously a big part of what you're doing on the defensive end, also one of the band of twins on that side of the ball, very stout for you. Talk about what you've got as far as confidence on that side of the ball.
Well, defensively, we know that we're going to be strong against the run. That's our first goal in every year, is to be able to stop the run. And then obviously when you can get a team in a passing situation, it makes it easier to defend the pass. In this situation here, advantage offense, there's really no pressure on the quarterback. So there is a clock, but certainly without a pass rush, it makes it more difficult to defend the pass. So we don't get disappointed if balls are completed on us or even if they catch touchdowns. We're more concerned about if we're assignment sound. If we're in the right position and the first alignment assignment comes first, and then are we making the proper keys and are we reacting to the ball? And if we're doing those things well, then we know that we will defend the pass well down the road. So I think defensively we have experience there, and also maturity to understand that. So when we are out here this weekend and then next weekend again, and that's all the throwing we do on the year. We twice on the year, but it's the kids understanding and having the maturity to understand when you're out here and it's exciting and you're seeing teams and you want to be competitive, to understand that there's a lot of times there are summertime champs and then there are fall chumps. And we want to be the opposite. We would rather be fall-time champs. Right. So we have to have that perspective, and we have to certainly have that maturity out here to understand that. Right.
Your son Nolan's starting to get some looks from a lot of schools. How's he kind of handling everything, and what are some of the schools that are starting to knock at his door?
Well, he's had 3 offers. San Jose State has recruited him as a linebacker. UC Davis has offered him as a tight end, and Fresno State has offered him as a tight end. Schools recruiting him as a linebacker still include Stanford. Harvard wants him as a tight end, and Colorado wants him as a tight end. So there are schools out there that are still recruiting him, and then there are schools that have already offered him. And on both sides of the ball, because he is a unique athlete. Not very few athletes do get recruited out of high school on one side of the bone, let aside 2. So it is an advantage for him that he can fit the need of a school rather than, this is all I play and this is all I can do. So I think it does open a few more doors for him. But the thing that really has allowed him to be recruited is that he's a 4.0 student, actually a 4.1 student, and he has a great SAT score. So he can go to any college in the country academically, and so that really opens more doors for him.
And then lastly, you guys want to be fall champs, as you said. We're fall champs a season ago. What's going to have to happen for you to repeat?
Well, we need to improve, and certainly each year that's the challenge with the kids that we have, to be able to take the next step. Last year's gone and passed, and so we can't hang our hat on that. So I know the kids, certainly would like to be in a position to be able to play for a championship again. But our goal every year is to try to maximize our potential, close the gap between our performance level and what our potential is. And we have a pretty big gap right now. And we're still trying to find the right mix of skilled kids. Offensively, the only skilled kid we return is our tailback, Dan Rodriguez, and he's a runner. He didn't catch one pass today. Right. Nolan Peralta is a tight end. And those are the only skill positions we have back on offense. So we're trying to find the rest of that skill group, including the quarterback. We think we're very strong on the offensive line, and that's really where we live and die, is running the ball. So we feel good about that, and it's not reflected here. I think defensively, like I've already said, we're strong in the linebacker group. We have 3 starters back of the 4. We have a defensive end returning. We have a defensive back returning that was all CIF a year ago. So we have pieces defensively that I think we're going to be pretty solid early on. And if the offense can catch up, by the time preseason's over, then we'll have a shot. But I don't know how early on. I don't know what it'll look like early on, and that's the exciting thing about it. You play the games and find out.
There you go. Well, great, Coach. I appreciate the time.
All right, thank you.
Take care.